I'm super deep. No, well, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say is that this is the result of when people have the absolute version of trust in each other. Because Eva and I had a conversation right before we started shooting the day before. We'd been rehearsing in costumes and wigs kept changing, and had 50-some change the costume. And like, dude, everyone's just working. And Eva and I had the last conversation the night before we started shooting. And I go, we need to trust each other. And like, we have to have absolute trust in each other. I'm gonna do some weird shit. May or may not work. She's probably gonna do some weird shit, may or may not work, but we'll work it out. And the same thing with Annie, and like we had a really great relationship off screen, talking like we just got to know each other really well. So, and it's also, this movie is also about support. You know, we've already talked about it too, but you know, this transcends cultural lines, and not only do all Latinos relate, but it crosses those lines as well. And it's one of those movies that are very special that they don't come around very often, and it just doesn't happen very often, especially for Latinos. So like, I'm so happy you guys are here, and that I hope you
What's it like to tell the story? So Elsa's saying this is the last question. So this is a story based on a true story, on Richard Montañez's story, true story. You called it a biopic, so it's not a documentary. So you're, at some point, you have to balance authenticity and fact with entertainment, right? Like when the boardroom is speaking cholo.
Yeah. But that we got the freedom because the original script wasn't in Richard's voice. We rewrote the script with Linda and put it in Richard's perspective, in Richard's voice and his POV. This is what he says happened. This is his truth, and this is the truth. And that's why, again, he goes, nobody's going to steal my story. Don't let anybody steal your story. Tell your story, and your story is your story. And so he said, he goes, you know, I thought a boardroom, when we just would talk to him, he goes, I thought a boardroom was a place they kept boards. And I didn't know. He goes, I thought they wore like maybe tuxedos. And he was telling me this story, and I said, oh my God. He goes, the first time I went to Dallas or Plano, wherever Frito-Lay was, he's like, I just thought like, where's the boardroom where you keep all the boards? And so I go, wouldn't it be funny if he imagined the boardroom like this? So that's what birthed those really fantastic cholo scenes, because he thought they sounded like him. He also said, like, man, there was a guy at work, I wanted to kick his ass. Like, the gangster in me was boiling up, but I didn't. And I thought, what if you do kick his ass? You know, so that's why we had him beat the shit out of that guy in his imagination. You know, and so we had creative freedom. Once you're in his point of view, it really gave us creative freedom to do whatever we wanted. And Tony Shalhoub, who plays Enrico, was amazing. And he came the last 3 days because he didn't have a lot to shoot, so we crammed him into 3 days. And you know, we were already a well-oiled machine by then. And the first scene he had to shoot was, you know, Jesse's voice over those cholo scenes. So he comes in and he's like, you pendejos are out here. And then he goes, I'm so sorry, what am I saying? Okay, this is, you know, Yoruca, it's like this really specific slang, and he had total trust. He's like, I trust this is gonna come out well.
Because, you know, Enrico passed away before the movie started, but Judy and Richard are alive and with opinions. Did they like your portrayal? What have they told you?
So when I met, Annie said when she met him too, it was, I know that Richard had wanted certain people that he'd been friends with, that he kept having opinions like who he wanted to be in the movie. And I was this guy that he didn't know, because we're all in the same circles, I just never met him. And so when I finally got the part, I went over to his house and we hung out for like 2 hours and talked about whatever. But I remember when I walked in, he's a little bit shorter than me. And I could tell there's just a little bit like sizing up. You know, like, who is this guy?
As cholos do.
As cholos do. He was sizing me up a little bit, but his wife Judy, they made me enchiladas, and like they welcomed me in, and their son was there, and we talked about the movie and about a lot of stuff. And then when I left, it was really nice, and they were really great, and I kind of my main purpose of meeting them was, well, I wanted to reassure them that we were going to take care of them. weren't going to do them wrong, because it's a very vulnerable story about where they came from to where they are now, right? They didn't want to dig up that past. They wanted to maintain the who they are now. So there's the scene where we're in the car, the stolen car, and Judy's pregnant, and she's like, "Are we in the stolen car?" Da, 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 da. She's hitting me, and we're improvising and having fun with it. They call cut. They were on set. They were visiting, and we went back behind Video Village, and everyone's crying like, "Oh my God, I actually hit him just like that, and that's what he said, and that's what I said, and that's what he got arrested." So everyone's crying, and they're hugging us, and Rich hugged me, and he grabbed me, and he looked me in the eyes, and he goes, "Okay, I get it now. I get what you guys are doing."
Yeah. Same with Judy. Yeah. I felt like I needed to separate her from Richard so I could like get her energy alone, and so I took her to breakfast, and the first thing she did was start crying and being like, "I'm so nervous. I've worked really hard to absolve my Chola past. I'm a good Christian woman now. Like, I don't want to," you know what I'm saying? And what it made me think of is what you talk about, the generations, what my tias, what my abuelitas went through that they never talked about, but they were just tough women. And how we need to hear those stories because they're testimonies, and they show that just because you come from there doesn't mean that you have to continue into that path. And I was like, yo, I am you. Like, I will not do you wrong. I promise you. Like,